Hello! More Buzzword. As usual, these questions are designed for middle schoolers. So let's get in here, have some fun with these. A reminder: these replicate the toss-ups you would experience if you played Quiz Bowl. So the clues and the questions are going to go from more obscure to more well-known. The sooner you buzz in and get them right, the more points you get. Again, these are questions for middle schoolers from 2020. Let's see what they got.
With his father, Earl, this athlete appeared on TV at age...
Tiger Woods has a dad named Earl. Elgin. It's Tiger's real name. Yeah. They said athlete and father named Earl. At that point, it's only going to be one thing. So I'll take a 20 on that, no problem.
A free specimen of this baryon, discovered by James Chadwick, has a mean lifetime of only 15 minutes. This particle is composed of one up quark and two down quarks, giving it an electric charge of 0.
I know a particle that has no charge.
In 1990, several works by Rembrandt were stolen from this city's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Logan International Airport.
Logan is Boston. Oh, yeah, I watched a documentary about that. I watched a documentary about that art heist. I mean, it turned out it was just... I forget how that ended. I think they ended up finding a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them, and then they could easily pin it on the Boston mob. Oh yeah, Isabella Stewart Gardner. Yeah, I would have had to sit and mull on that one for a long time, but then they said Logan International Airport, and that's Beantown.
A harbor in what is now this country is depicted in the painting Watson and the Shark. Fulgencio Batista was a dictator of...
Oh, I forgot Watson and the Shark is a... It's a great painting. So Watson was a rich guy who had experience with a shark. So he wanted to commemorate the tale by having a painting commissioned. But then the painter, I forgot. Is that West? Was that West? Oh, I forgot the name of the painter. I don't think it was Winslow Homer. No, Winslow Homer would have done better. Anyway, whoever the painter was, who I can't remember, had never seen a shark. So he just kind of made up what the face of a shark would look like. And it is some great stuff.
This shape is a conic section with an eccentricity of 0. The graph of x squared plus y squared...
Yeah, it's like eccentricity. There's really only two shapes. Well, so technically you could say an ellipse is just a circle. Or that's complicated. You can say a circle is actually, like, there's no difference between a circle and an ellipse, and that a circle is just an ellipse that has 0 eccentricity. So you could be technically correct on some things there.
This title character feels like a penguin when he wears a restrictive body blankie to phys ed class. A book subtitled Hard Luck is narrated by this middle schooler, who is often inconsiderate to his friend Rowley. For 10 points, what boy narrates Jeff Kinney's series, Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
I don't know what the name of the Wimpy Kid is. Yeah, Greg. Yep. Yeah, Diary of a Wimpy Kid became a thing after I came of an age where it would be a thing that I was interested in.
A prince from this country's Aviz dynasty who sponsored voyages on ships called caravels is known as Henry the Navigator.
Yep. Henry the Navigator was a big part of the Portuguese Empire and exploring. And despite how small Portugal is in like size relation to the rest of the European country, they went out there and they colonized a lot of places.
The NS Savannah, launched in 1959, was the first cargo ship to use this type of power source.
Yeah, I mean, that's at this level, that's really the only thing it could be. Because you go from there and you start talking about nuclear submarines.
In this book, a man uses poplar tree branches to multiply his uncle's flock. Hagar gives birth to
Bible.
Ishmael in this book, in which a dove with an olive branch represents the end of the Great Flood. Adam and Eve are...
It's just Genesis, then. You forget how many of those stories are just in Genesis. Yeah, because the Noah story's in Genesis, the Adam and Eve story's in Genesis. I think the follow-up, like the epilogue of Noah's story, is also in Genesis.
This president faced a diplomatic crisis when a U-2 spy plane flown by...
Oh, Eisenhower. Oh, yeah. I was conflating the U-2 spy plane with the Cuban Missile Crisis. Yeah, should have waited on that one.
In a sequel to this game, players can play their last 2 cards if their value sums to that of a face-up middle card. Standard cards in this game are numbered 0 through 9 in 4 colors.
That's not a video game at all. Uno. The most popular card game in America that isn't played with the standard poker deck.
This structure contains the poorly understood paraspeckles, as well as a dense region responsible for ribosome production. A membrane surrounding it disappears in the early stages of mitosis. Only eukaryotes possess...
Yeah. Right. Nucleus and neutron. It's very new. This is a very new set of questions.
This man's body was hung upside down from a sign at a gas station after he and his girlfriend Clara Petacci were executed by partisans in 1945. Earlier, this premier, known as Il Duce...
Yeah. Now I remember Mussolini. Il Duce. I was like, who could... It's like there's some brutality that interesting to put in for middle schoolers, but can't really shy away from it, I guess.
Characters in this novel include a devout Quaker whose name was later used for the coffee chain Starbucks.
I didn't put the hyphen in. I should have put the hyphen in. I know there's a hyphen in Moby Dick. But yeah, so Starbuck, and then Queequeg, Ishmael, Ahab. I feel like we've been running into a lot of Moby Dick questions in these practice academic.
Pencil and paper ready.
Oh, come on.
Armando needs to find the only 2-digit perfect square whose digits sum to 10.
I'd like 64 is a square. Yeah, I'll just take that and move on.
In 2003, this city's Amoy Gardens apartments was the site of a large number of SARS patients. Carrie Lam heads this city, where a proposed extradition bill sparked massive protests in 2019. For 10 points, what special administrative region was
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. I don't know why. I kind of blanked out there. Special administrative region. Yeah, it's Hong Kong. It's not DC. Yeah, that was a complete punt.
In August 2019, Tulsi Gabbard accused this politician of keeping people in prison to use as cheap labor. This woman succeeded Barbara Boxer to become the first South Asian to...
I think we had Biden earlier too, or that may have been a different. They may have been a different round, a different level.
This character reads Paradise Lost while hiding in a cottage that is the residence of Felix and the blind DeLacy. After this character kills Elizabeth Lavenza, he is pursued to the Arctic for 10.
Oh. We'll just say this. Oh no! Oh, they got me there. They got me. That was some meta thought. They'll just take Frankenstein for this. I don't need to put Frankenstein's monster in there. All right, you got me, Buzzword.
This organ's lining contains chief cells that produce a zymogen that gets converted to the protease pepsin.
It sounds a lot like the stomach. Pepsin, enzymes.
This state's northwest angle is...
Boom. Give me them northwest angle questions all the time. I can finish writing that question for you. Northwest angle is the only part of the contiguous U.S. that you can't reach by road without going into another country. If you only want to stay in the U.S. and reach the northwest angle, you got to take a boat.
This emperor's General Varus lost the Battle of Teutoburg Forest to Arminius. This man defeated his rival in the Second Triumvirate, Mark Antony, at the Battle of Actium, prompting Cleopatra...
Yeah, it's just Caesar then. Okay, they probably won't take that. They're all named the same. Yeah, Julius Caesar was dead at that point. So yeah, it was be Augustus Caesar.
In 2017, it was speculated that this country would conduct a military test on the Day of the Sun, a day celebrating its founder. This home of the Yongbyon Nuclear Scientific Research...
I feel like it's only going to be that. Kim Jong-un and nuclear saber rattling.
A steel and glass net surrounds this city's Rem Koolhaas-designed central library. The John Graham Company created an icon of this city for 1962's Century 21 exposition. An hourglass-shaped tripod supports an observation tower.
It's got to be Seattle, then. I think they're talking about the Space Needle. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is hourglass shaped, and there's observation deck. It wasn't gonna be an observation tower. It's an observation deck.
The Phillips report analyzed a fire during this program that killed Roger Chaffee and Gus Grissom.
Oh no, it was Apollo, not Mercury. Yeah, they were preparing for Apollo 3. Yeah, it was Apollo 3. Yeah. Too quick on that one.
This is the smallest positive number of radians for which the cosecant is undefined and the cosine is -1. Archimedes proved that this irrational number is slightly less than 22/7.
Yeah. I thought while they were talking about numbers, and whenever there's a question about numbers and it has to do with a circle, answer is usually going to be pi. Because what's going to be 4? It's not going to be 4. It's going to be pi.
A scientist from this country targeted CCR5 using CRISPR to attempt to confer genetic resistance to HIV and was sentenced to 3 years in prison for unethical conduct. For 10 points, name this country where the genetically edited babies Lulu and Nana were created by Jian Kuai.
Okay. There's no way to answer that question in 2022. You have to be deep into CRISPR knowledge or China arresting scientist knowledge in order to get that. Man, that is a deep that's a deeply tough question to answer 2022 until the end.
Hereward the Wake led a Fenland rebellion against this king. This man was crowned in Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day after defeating the army of Harold Godwinson. For 10 points, the 1066 Battle of Hastings was won by what leader who carried out the Norman invasion of England?
Why can't... Oh, now I'm just blanking on this. Yeah, William the Conqueror. Man, that was bad. That's just bad right there. Just full on blank. Yeah, of course, William the Conqueror. Yeah.
A strait named for this island surrounds Quemoy, which was at the center of a 1958 diplomatic crisis. Portuguese explorers, struck by this island's beauty, named it Formosa. In 1949, forces loyal to Chiang Kai-shek fled to, for 10 points, what Asian island?
Yeah, Taiwan is Formosa. Yep.
In a painting set in this city, a man modeled on Donato Bramante draws on a slate with a compass.
So that's got to be School of Athens that they're talking about. That's Raphael. He drew all the old philosophical scholars of ancient Greece and whatnot, and he used all of his painter friends as references.
This book series includes a prequel set soon after the Dark Days, in which the singer Lucy Gray is mentored by Coriolanus Snow.
Yeah, I mean, Coriolanus Snow is the bad guy in Hunger Games. One of many bad guys in Hunger Games.
NASA's upcoming Mars Ingenuity probe is one of these vehicles. The first successful version of these vehicles was designed by Igor Sikorsky.
Oh. Did that? I mean, it could be that helicopter's on its way to Mars right now. Interesting. That's pretty awesome, actually. Mars helicopter.
This state is home to the Bandelier National Monument, which is in the Jemez Mountains. In this state, White Sands National Park.
White Sands is in New Mexico. So White Sands, Petrified Forest, Truth or Consequences, all New Mexico standards.
This president signed the Public Broadcasting Act, which eventually created PBS.
Yeah, who did that?
Both the healthcare
FDR?
programs Medicaid and Medicare were created during his tenure as part of the Great Society.
No,
For 10
what's
points,
the Great Society?
what president escalated the Vietnam War after succeeding John F.
LBJ, then. Great Society's LBJ.
The satyr Marsyas challenged this god to a contest that this god won by playing the lyre. An oracle was found at this god's temple in Delphi. This son of Zeus...
That's Apollo. It's the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, which is one of the other wonders of the world. Which I think was in the other the other thing that I may or may not have just played. I've really given away the goat on how I'm recording these.
The sugar in DNA contains one less atom of this element than the sugar in RNA. 4 atoms of this element...
I mean, because RNA is ribonucleic acid and DNA is dioxynucleic acid, so you just do the math on that one.
In these games, glowing stone rings generate currency called watts. The city of Motostoke is reached by crossing the wild area in these games.
Oh, Sword and Shield. I was like, that was very specific to Sword and Shield. I guess that is the most recent mainline game that's even out right now. But Wild Zone is a very specific thing to Pokemon, because that's a area where you can be attacked by Pokemon.
During this decade, facilities like Manzanar were created through Executive Order 9066. The Supreme Court in this decade approved treatment of the Nisei with the Korematsu.
It's gotta be 1940s. Anything related to the Nisei and Korematsu decision was right during World War II, which is firmly 1940s.
In the 1920s, Gertrude Ederle became the first woman to swim across this body of water.
It could be something else, but yeah. English Channel is a famously swum body of water.
In Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter asks why one of these animals is like a writing desk.
Why is a raven like a writing desk? They were both written on by Poe. I know the answer to that joke.
This quantity equals capacitance times the voltage across a capacitor. This quantity's SI unit is the coulomb, and its rate of flow is the current. This quantity is 0 for an atom and non-zero for an ion. For 10 points.
Okay. That was some electronic stuff that I was unfamiliar with. Oh, yeah, capacitors do have charge because they can be charged up. And yeah, okay.
Many of these peoples believe in a creator god who puts spirit children in water holes called the Rainbow Serpent, and that their ancestors named animals during a period in which a flat and barren world came alive, known as the Dream Time. For 10 points, name these people.
It's the Maori. Oh, Aborigines. Yeah, Maoris. Yeah, those are different. Yep, those are different. I was on the wrong side of New Zealand and Australia.
The Alpine mummy Otzi is commonly known by this
Otzi.
nickname, which is also
Who's
the
Otzi?
X-Men moniker of the gay Marvel superhero Bobby Drake.
Yeah, it's Iceman. Otzi the Iceman. Yep. I like that, where it's academic and pop culture stuff put together. That's what I really like questions like that.
After this empire put down the Sepoy Rebellion, it established a colonial government called the Raj.
It's the British Empire. Oh, look at all those. Look at all those options. Yeah, the Raj was the time period that they were in charge of, or in control of, India.
This character is first seen being encouraged to forget about his infatuation with
Rosaline shows up. He's deeply, deeply in love with Rosaline. I think there's a Hulu movie. I think it's got to be a movie that tells the Romeo and Juliet story from Rosaline's point of view. I should watch that.
The wedge variety of these systems,
Salads,
which appear wider than their height, are usually categorized as 3 or higher on the enhanced Fujita scale.
I mean, tornadoes are measured by the Fujita scale, not salads. All my salads are 5 on the Fujita scale.
Using his wife, Peggy Shippen, as a go-between, this
Shippen.
man began negotiations with...
Yeah, it's Benedict Arnold. Yep. Part of the reason he had a very British wife, a very loyal British wife, and he wanted to get out, essentially, out of America, which he did. He lived the rest of his life in London, from what I recall.
A stretch of this city's 16th Street was renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza in 2020 by its mayor, Muriel Bowser.
Yeah, this is Washington, D.C. This one's Washington, D.C. because they did it. They did that right in front of the White House, I believe.
Pencil and paper.
Oh no,
ready.
for the last question.
Bianca needs to know the percentage increase in her height during the last year, given that she was 5 feet tall a year ago, but has since grown 6 inches. By first converting 5 feet into inches, she finds, for 10 points, what percentage...
Hey, did I get both? I think I got both of the math ones. All right. Plentiful points this go around. And some stuff that I should have covered. I just completely forgot who William the Conqueror was. And deservedly got no points for that. Anyway, that was fun. If you want to check out Buzzword yourself, you can go to naqt.com/buzzword. And if you want to help out the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks. We'll see you later.